Hey, okay, so this isn't going to be a super long one, but I've done a lot over the past couple days, but most of it couldn't really be done in this space. I figured I'd at least catch you up on what I've been doing, and that way, and get a little bit of this weight done because I've been putting it off because it intimidates me so much. So the things that I've been doing, the stilt covers are now made to match the stilts. I put up, if you're on our Discord, I put up a picture of the silk covers on in the Discord. It's kind of cool. They're like way, 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 way far from being done as far as painting goes. Um, the painting in the cracks that I was doing the other day, I gave up on that. It was going to end up costing me $50+ in acrylic paints, which was ridiculous. I went out and got some spray paint because I figured I'd just spray inside the cracks, which was still working okay, but it was taking a lot of paint. And it was kind of bleeding over the edges. I mean, I can paint over, you can see this here, I can paint over the edges of all this because I want depth and texture and stuff like that. But even spraying inside the cracks was taking forever. It's still probably what I'm going to do. I'm going to finish kind of spray painting around. I had to switch colors partway through because the original color I used that I really, really liked was $5 a can. And so I got some that was $3 a can, but it was just not as dark. But that's okay. Uh, and then what I did was I kind of formed it to the stilt, and then the thing that took a really long time yesterday, I don't know if you can see this. Let me move it to where you can kind of see it in the camera. Right here, maybe. No, I'm trying to get it over to kind of where the wig is. Okay, yeah, I don't know if you can see that in the camera or not. But I basically got a zipper on the inside of this. So it's attached to fabric here, and then the fabric is hot glued in, and it still attaches to the stilt covers with the Velcro here. And that way, basically, I can put on the stilt covers and zip them up. I also, see, I've got my camera at a different angle today because the wig, so I'm losing track of where everything is. I'll just show you in the front camera. I also glued this in so that it's a little closer to my leg at the top. Because what I found was it was just kind of this big gaping. It was too wide around my leg, and you could just look right in, and it just looked weird. So so I cut it in some V shapes here, and then kind of glued it together so the whole thing comes in a little bit more. It looks kind of cool on. I mean, it still needs a lot of painting work, but it's getting there. It's along the lines. And actually, I still made some changes after I posted that picture in Discord. I roughened up the top of it a little bit, these edges, just to make them look a little bit more natural. Anyway, so the stilt covers are at least in a place where I can put them on and I can wear them around. And now we're at the decorating stage, which is a whole lot easier. Oh, and I just kicked my camera. Hi, how are you? Rainy Keys, I never see you here. It's so good to see you. Hello, hello, hello. What I'm trying to do is actually get it so that I can respond to people on, there we go, on Stream Chat. Hi, yes, I know, I'm very, very excited. So I've been putting off this wig because it terrifies me, because I've never really done this sort of styling on a wig ever. And I was looking into how to do dreads online, and I was saying this the other day, that the first thing they say is get a wig that is not heat resistant, because the main way that you see people do these is they tease it all up, usually using like a pet brush, and then once it's all teased up and kind of in this sort of a shape, you wrap it in a wet cloth or something of that nature, and then you flat iron it, or there's lots of different ways, but basically you seal it with heat. I have a heat resistant wig, which I got specifically because I wanted these colors, but that means I can't do that. The good thing about that is, since she's supposed to be a dryad and she's supposed to be all natural and stuff, they don't have to be the most beautiful, perfect dreads ever. So that's what I've got so far. They're not perfect. They're not beautiful. They're very kind of rough on the outside here. But I'm thinking about a lot of things I can do with that. I'm either thinking some sort of like a glue water combination to kind of calm them a bit. I'm also thinking maybe I'll just leave them like this, kind of with little bits sticking out because maybe it'll be a more natural, wild kind of look. I'm thinking with some of them I may wrap cord. I got some cord the other day and do some viney stuff around it. I don't know. So right now what I'm doing is I'm basically just getting this with that and figuring out how much I'm going to need to add to it because as I do these, it's going to lessen the amount of hair that it looks like this wig has. So I'm probably going to have to put some other hair into this. I've got some brown, and I intentionally got some brown because I thought it would look nice with some yellows and some oranges and some reds and some browns since she's an autumn dryad. So yeah, this is a work in progress. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just learning as I go. So hopefully that will make it more entertaining because I'm bound to screw up royally at some point and then figure out how to fix it. Anyway, so yeah. So I did these last night. They took, I don't know, maybe a little under an hour to do. And I had a little bit of time today. I've actually got an alarm that's going to go off in about 30 minutes because I need to be out the door to go watch a child at camp. But I figured I'd get a little bit done right now. One of the things that I was learning as I went is when I started them at the top, they were still super chunky looking and they weren't so pretty at the top. So what I tried with the last one last night that wasn't the worst idea ever is I tried kind of braiding a couple of braids at the very, very top just so that when I started teasing it was already together. I turned my camera today so that hopefully you can see what I'm doing with my hands here. Not that this is an instructional video. Who knows? Maybe it'll look really, really cool at the end, and then it will become an instructional video. Wow. So anyway, and then it's just teasing this, and it takes a long time. I feel so bad about taking this really beautiful, silky, gorgeous wig and just tearing it apart. That's okay. Hopefully by the end of this, it's going to look so good it won't matter. So yeah, anyway. Rainy, you style cosplay wigs too? What sorts of styles have you done in your cosplay wigs? Have you done this before? Do you already know how to do this? Should I have asked you how to do this first? Yeah, I looked up a bunch of videos online about how to do dreads, and they were beautiful, but they were all the same. And actually, and most of them weren't with, some of them were with wigs like this, but most of them were starting with just the long, long strands of hair and doing the toe wrap method where you wrap it halfway around your big toe, and then you just start teasing. One thing I have discovered with this pet brush though, because it's all very sharp, wiry bristles, which is why it distresses the wig so quickly. But I keep catching it on my finger. This finger is just raw right now from catching my finger on the bristles of this brush. My cat's going to be jealous. This is literally my cat's brush. I mean, I pulled the cat hair out of it, but she's just discovered that she adores this brush. And she really likes it when I brush her. I'm just waiting for her to come in here and be like, what are you doing? That's mine. I like that. She tried jumping in here yesterday. Not yesterday, but the last time I filmed. And I had this foam laid all out on the table. And she tore a little hole in it trying to jump up to the table because she likes the lights because they're warm. Which is worse, teasing your finger, burning it with hot glue? Both are worse. I've burned my finger so many times. I'm so lucky I'm working with a low temp glue gun. If I was working with a high temp glue gun, I'd just be covered in blisters at this point. Because with all that foam and cloth, I was squeezing the glue onto it and then just kind of holding it closed. Because as fast as hot glue dries, still when you're dealing with foam and fabric, a lot of times you just have to kind of hold it in place until it cools enough. And I'm lucky it's hot glue because it's still so much faster than it would be if it was regular glue. But it still seems to take forever. I was trying to like pull it up and then smooth it down a little bit as I went and then keep pulling it up. Some of them are looking better than others. Some of them are still loosening a little bit. I might have to go over them a little bit more later. So, but if I was going for a wild look, it's definitely wild. At first I was picturing these beautiful, like really, really smooth dreads. It's not going to happen with this wig. I sound like Josh. I don't even remember what I said now. Is that awful? I just answered the question. Don't know what I answered. Maybe this is the secret to getting secrets out of me. You ask me questions here because I just talk. The honest answer comes out and I don't remember what I said. Is that awful? So today is a busy day. I have a dance camp performance to go watch in a little while. So I'm going to go do that. And then I am going to meet my mom and go to a fabric store so that I can look at fabric for the corset. Oh, I didn't show you guys the corset. I took a picture of it. I got it in. It's very, very simple, but it's pretty. It's a brown satin, and the satin's not going to work, of course, because it's too shiny, but I'm covering it up anyway, so that's fine. But the look of it is nice. It'll work. So I got that in. One of the problems with it is it laces up in the back, which is fine, and then it hooks in the front, and the hooks are just a pain to deal with. It takes too long to hook, and the hooks are metal, which doesn't work. So my lovely, wonderful mother has volunteered to replace the zipper or replace the hooks with the zipper for me, which I am eternally grateful for because she is far better at dealing with zippers than I am. Although I glued those zippers in. I'm very proud of myself. So she is replacing the little snaps with a zipper. And then I am going to go look today for some fabric that I can start putting over the exterior of the corset to give it more of a wood look. I looked at a lot of fabric yesterday and I don't know what direction I'm going to go. There's so many possibilities and there are reasons that I like each one and dislike each one. There was a really pretty, very smooth fabric, which I didn't love about it, but the print on it looked very wood-like, which I did love. And then there was another that had a great texture to it and had a good look, but it was almost a little too scaly. And I was worried that it was going to look more like almost a dragon skin leather kind of look, which is not what I'm going for. So I'd rather just kind of look at a fabric store and see what they have there and what I can find. So that's my next project. Tonight, of course, is, I'm not in it, but is Web of Lies on the channel, which I'm looking forward to. Their regular DM is not available this week because she has a prior commitment. And so our very own Plastered Dragon is DMing for them. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing how that goes. I'm sure it will be wonderful. And I'm not just saying that because I know he's online right now. Ha ha! Sailor Mars. Oh, a really long wig. Yeah, this one's long too, but it's not nearly as long as I'm sure that would be. When you find two fabrics that both have qualities you want in just one. Exactly. Yes. Yeah, if I could have combined those two fabrics, it would have been perfect. Okay, so like, this is what I'm dealing with. This is like really thin here, and it's a bit thicker there. But in the end, you know, and twisting helps, which is good, but they do eventually untwist. Like some of the ones that I kind of twisted and worked with last night have already untwisted and they're not looking quite as smooth as they were. But this is where I might just add some spray into it. I know that there are wig sprays that will help. And gosh, even just, I don't like hairspray works on wigs. There might be a hairspray that I could get that would just work. I just don't want it flaking. Sometimes when hairspray gets old, it gets flaky and gross, and I don't want it to look fine now and not look great in 3 months. So, but that'll work for a start. I mean, the whole point is that they're wild and unruly, so I want to get to the point where I have enough done so that I can start to try it on and see how long it's going to be and how it's going to look. Flattery will get you everywhere. Ha ha. All right, let's pull another one out. I started on the bottom right now. Like this is the top of the wig here, and this is the bottom. And I started in the back on the bottom. That way, if these turned out just awful, I could come up with a backup plan and I wouldn't have ruined the front part of the wig. So, but so far so good. I was going to combine dreads and braids. I was going to do a little bit of both, but now I'm getting worried about that and that's just not going to look good. So I'm sticking to what I'm doing now. I'm just going to stick to dreads for now and see how that works out. This is still, I knew it was going to be a long process. It's still a very long process. It was a great process though for, you know, just sitting last night, we were just sitting watching TV. So I just worked on this while we were watching TV and got 4 of them done. So that worked out pretty well. I'm not sure that's enough hair. I might need to pull a little bit more. This wig also has all these little tiny short strands in it, which I suppose they do just to help fill in. But it looks a little rough. Then again, it will probably help fill in those cracks between the dreads. So in the end, I'm probably going to be really, really happy for it. We'll see. It's probably not the most exciting thing to watch, but that's okay. I'm getting it done. I just want to make sure that I had a little bit of every stage of this process. I mean, obviously I couldn't do the spray paint online, and the zippers were just easier to do somewhere else. It was a lot of standing and walking around and then trying on the stilts and seeing what was looking good and what wasn't looking good and what was working. If you are finding this on YouTube and you're wondering how to find us and how to see, although at that point the pictures that I put of the stilts in the common room are going to be really far up in the scroll, but I'll put them somewhere else, I suppose. But yeah, so if you're finding us on YouTube, we are on Twitch TV at the Plaster Dragon. And then any of the shows on the Plaster Dragon, our Discord link is going to go up. But you can also find us on Discord at the Plaster Dragon. And it's a really fun community of people, all types of gaming, a lot of tabletop gaming, a lot of us play D&D and things like that. And we're just there to kind of hang out and say hello to each other in the morning and encourage each other, and it's a great little community of people. So find us. Plus, you'll get notifications when I spontaneously decide to do this 3 minutes before I actually start streaming. Because I've been really bad about having any sort of a schedule with this. Because to be fair, some of this, I don't know if it's going to work and if it's going to get to a point where I can actually stream it. Like last night when I started this process, it would have been a complete 50-50 shot as to whether I thought I was going to be able to stream this today, because I really honestly was pretty sure it was going to just turn out terribly. and that I was going to have to completely rethink and possibly even buy a new wig. And I really didn't want to buy a new wig. I really wanted to make this work, but I had no idea. No idea. And anybody who actually has done lots of dreads, who really knows what they're doing here, is probably looking at this and going, oh my gosh, what is she doing? This is terrible. Don't do it that way. Fix it, fix it, fix it. But it's okay. She's a dryad. She did not get professional dreads, okay? Her dreads came naturally. Through a pet brush and inexperience. I am seeing Rainey talking about doing a cosplay of her D&D characters, and I got this cloak last year that I still haven't used. But my chosen family character, my wood elf ranger, has a cloak of elven kind, which is a very useful cloak to have in D&D. I love that cloak. People keep finding other cloaks and offering them to people, and I barely even listen because I'm not going to get rid of my cloak of elven kind. I love it. But I found this cloak online. One of those, you know how on Facebook those things come, oh, things you might be interested in, and half the time, you know, even though it looks really, really good online, that if you actually order it, it's going to be really cheap and crappy looking. And one of those came up, and it just kept coming up, and it was this beautiful velvety looking cloak, green, and I finally broke down and I ordered it. And it is cheap. I mean, it looks like, it feels kind of like Halloween material and all that. It's worth what I paid for it, which at the time I thought was a really good deal on what they were saying the actual price was. If I had paid the actual price, I would have been really angry. But it looks good. And so I've got the first piece of my cosplay for my character that I'll probably never fully create. Maybe I will. But yeah, I've got one piece, but it's just a cloak. I don't have anything else. At some point I should create it. I'm kind of more inclined to create cosplay for, even though it's not going to be as interesting, for my Zuki character for Something Wicked on Tuesdays, because I love her so much. And so much of her cosplay is stuff people would never see, because it takes place in modern Boston. Any armor that people have is natural armor that you could find in modern day Boston or whatever. So because her character is a half elf, and she knows that her dad was an elf, but she never really met him. She's kind of romanticized her relationship with him. She's romanticized who he was and everything. But she's kind of grown up on the streets, and she doesn't have much money, and she's young. And so her armor is this like one of those corset type things that you would find at a Renaissance fair. So she found it at a secondhand thrift shop, and she doesn't wear it out and about because people would point and it would stand out and it wouldn't quite work. But she wears it underneath a big baggy sweatshirt because she also has a little rat named Scritch that she carries around. He's not a magical rat or anything. He's just a rat. But he stays in the pocket of her big baggy gray sweatshirt with a hood. But underneath that, she's got her armor on. Underneath that, she's got her Renaissance vest. But I kind of like the fact that she's this person that you would never notice on the street, but underneath it, she's got this very medieval looking costume, I guess. So it would be fun cosplay to create, but it wouldn't be interesting for anybody else to look at. Like, I would be creating it for myself, I think. But I love her so much. She's amazing. Air Genasi Blood Hunter and Drow Blood Hunter. We were talking the other day on the stream about other cosplays that I could create with stilts, and about equal rights for Driders, I'm sorry, because I didn't realize that only male drow can be Driders for anyone that doesn't know drow or driders or any of those things. Oh my gosh. Ow. Okay, so I have literally put myself in sort of, is that blood on the wig? No, it's not blood on the wig. Okay. I was going to say I've literally now put my blood into this wig. It's now partly magical. But anyway, drow are like dark elves and things like that, and driders are kind of spidery versions of them without getting into a whole lot of probably pretty uninteresting D&D mythology. I'm sure somebody's going to get online and explain it fully. But yeah, apparently girl drow cannot be driders, and that bothers me. But I could do a cosplay of Lolth, who is the kind of goddess spider queen person who creates said driders. So I've actually, ever since we talked about it during one of these streams, I've been kind of designing this costume in my mind. I found, actually I didn't find, someone on our Discord channel, Wolf, found this really cool picture of a silt walker who designed a spider costume. It does not have 8 legs. That bothers me. It's got like, she's got 10, or if you count the horn thing she's got up here, maybe 12. But it was a really neat idea. It's not quite exactly what I would go for, but it was inspiring. And so now I'm thinking through what I could do with that. Of course, before I'm even a 6th, 1/8 of the way done with this one, the 10th, I don't know, maybe a 20th. I have a long ways to go on this. Luckily, I have time. Yes, we should cosplay Reggie and Zuki, but I feel like, once again, it would not be a very exciting cosplay for anyone else. Although Reggie's cool. Reggie's a drunk dragon who's on chat right now. That's his character in Our Wicked. Reggie would be cool enough that even though he's modern, he would be an awesome cosplay. But yes, we should totally cosplay Reggie and Zuki. I love Scritch. He's my friend. Wig blood ritual. It almost was. I really thought it was for a second. All of a sudden, my finger really hurt, and I saw a little spot of blood, and then I saw what looked like red in the wig, but it wasn't red in the wig. It was just a shadow. Thanks. I don't know if I would make an amazing Lolth, but I've got some ideas for a costume, and I think it could be really, really, really cool. We'll see. I don't know. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, and I've got to concentrate on this one right now. So, time, the good thing and the bad thing about streaming this stuff is that time flies so quickly, which is great and bad, because in all of this time now, let me say I started with 4. I have 2. I did 2. And I've got like 5 minutes before I have to stop and go do summer camp things. But hey, that's 2 that I didn't have done 40 minutes ago. Right? Little by little. I'm getting excited about getting into this orange and red. But I want to be methodical about this and not just skip over to those. This wig is so long. I love it so much. Hi! Aw, thanks, Drunk Dragon. Callie's Corner Love. Viking braids. Oh, that's interesting. I should look up pictures of those. Yeah, I'm starting to think that this entire wig is going to be a dread wig. I don't think I'm going to incorporate braids into this anymore. Because I really like the rough look. Braids would have been easier for me because I already knew how to braid. Well, since I have to reattach this anyway, I might as well show you this. This is awesome. I love it. I borrowed it from my mom. But it's this great little wig head that is not broken at all. I promise it's not. But it locks onto the table. I probably should have locked it tighter onto the table. And then I pinned the wig onto it. That's the universe giving me a not so subtle hint that I should have stopped by now, so that I can go be responsible and do things that I'm supposed to be doing. It's okay. I'm going to try to do a little bit, one more. Maybe. What time is it? Okay, a little bit. I need to get a better pin, a really good straight pin, because that little tiny pin that I have is not wanting to hold this thing very well. Aw, thanks, Rainy. I'm not sure they're amazing, but they might be amazing for what I need. Anybody who does this and knows what they're doing would probably say, those dreads look so messy. I have a friend who has, gosh, really long, like beautiful dreads. His are just gorgeous, and I don't want to show him this wig because he knows what they should look like. Yep, so I think I'm getting a hint that I'm supposed to stop this now. Ah! I had this out on a TV tray last night in front of the TV. And boy, this thing just does not want to stay on this nice, soft table. Yeah, I love this wig head. I mean, I say I love this wig head as it's just fallen off the table twice, but it's perfect on a little TV tray to be able to sit in front of the television and just work on a wig. It's amazing. Yeah, well, and it's creepy too. But yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if I even dare. I don't even know where the pin went. I think the pin fell out. So if I'm limping later, the next time I stream, it's because the pin fell out and I stepped on it somewhere. Yeah, I have no idea. That pin is MIA. See, and that's why I had everything tied off, because now that is just, I can't even find the dreads in there. They're somewhere. Here we go. Lots of little pieces of hair. And I don't even know where the ones are that I was working with. Wait, there, I think. Oh, there's the pin. Yay. So I think what I will do is I will take that as a beautiful, lovely hint from the universe that I have other things I'm supposed to be doing right now, like responsible things. And I will leave this here and I will work on it a little bit later. But thank you for joining me. Once again, let me see, Twitch TV / the Plastered Dragon. And you can find us on Discord. And, oh yes, and we have website and Facebook and all of those beautiful things. And most of those have probably found their way into the chat. And if they haven't, all you have to do, that's my alarm saying that I need to stop. And if you haven't, all you have to do is find us at Twitch TV / the Plastered Dragon, and you can find all of those things there too. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Hopefully next time I'll be able to stick around a little bit longer, and maybe by next time I'll be able to show you more than 6 of these completed, and we can start working on some of the decorating or adding in some other colors. But I'm not going to get my hopes up too much. I might just be doing lots more yellow dreads. Bye.